Okay. Okay. Here you go. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Epic here in Fort Collins. I'm Kevin Schaefer, along with graphic coordinator Lexi Schaefer and camera operator Jeremy Weathers. Sorry for the delay in getting things started here. We had some technical issues as we work our way through the prelims here at the 5A State Swimming and Diving Championships. Prelims throughout the day, all in swimming. They'll qualify for the finals coming up tomorrow. Diving championships and prelims also tomorrow. So again, everything you'll see today here on CHSAA.tv will be swimming preliminaries. We have 2 events already complete with all their heats. We're just wrapping up now the 200-yard intermediate right now. What you're watching now is the last heat going on. So we'll pick up our coverage here at the 50-yard freestyle, and which will be the start of the next race. Let's get you caught up on what's happened so far. We've had the 200-yard medley relay already completed, and again, these are the top 8 finishers in order by time. Daryl Turner out of Cherry Creek, Hennessy Stewart out of Regis Jesuit, Ryan Ball from Loveland, Andrew Parker of Highlands Ranch, Austin Lehman of Chatfield, Ryan Arata of Lewis Palmer, Jake Thielen of Fossil Ridge, and Sebastian Harvey of Fairview. They are your top 8 qualifiers for the 200-yard medley relay. And again, those 8 will swim, I should say, for the state championships coming up tomorrow evening here on CHSAA.tv. Also, we have the 200-yard freestyle completed this afternoon. And again, your top 8 finishers from 1st to 8th. Tyler Hicks out of Poudre at a time of 1:41.70. He is your top qualifier, followed by Nathan Mueller of Highlands Ranch, Carter Griffin out of Ponderosa Chaparral Legend combo program, Kyle Henschel of Arapahoe, Jack Jenner of Castleview Douglas County is your 5th qualifier. Final 3 qualifiers for the championship race tomorrow night: Andrew Torres of Ralston Valley, Cooper Bowen of Loveland, and Hunter Baines of Lewis Palmer. So again, we have 2 events already complete with their prelims today, and they are your top 8 qualifiers as we just mentioned. Again, we're wrapping up the 200-yard intermediate right now, and we just finished up the 6th heat of the preliminaries, and we will move into one of the more exciting events of the event, and that is the 50-yard freestyle. Again, a 25-yard pool here at the Epic in Fort Collins, and again, so it'll be up and down for these competitors. We will have 5 heats in the 50-yard freestyle. Then we will take a 15 or so minute break and pick it up with the 100-yard butterfly as they take a break. So we're getting set here for the first heat. The first heat of the 50-yard freestyle. In lane 3 will be Sam Buckholtz of Hinckley. Lane 4, Ricky Huddleston of Chatfield. Sebastian Harvey of Fairview is in the middle of the pool in lane 5. Lane 6 is Chris Walsh. He's from Boulder. Lane 7, Mike Carlson from Lewis Palmer. And in lane 8, Court Sharp out of Monarch. So again, these prelims, the first of 5 in this event, and they will go by very quickly. And again, we will not give you a lot of play-by-play in the pool, as you'll be able to see who is leading at this time. We'll try to give you the finishers as we see them come in. But again, we will get final results for you a little bit later on from the folks to our left here at CHSAA. So we will try to catch who finishes in first in this heat. And it looks like it is lane 6 there is your winner. It looks like Chris Walsh out of Boulder. And that is correct. He finishes with a time of 22.41. That's actually better than his qualifying time by about a half second. So Chris Walsh of Boulder wins Heat 1 of the 50-yard freestyle. Heat 2 is coming up here again, once up the pool and down. In lane 2 will be Chad Moulton of Smoky Hill. Paul Brunette of Monarch is in lane 3. Alex Coleman is in lane 4. He's a freshman from Smoky Hill. Riley Allen is in lane 5. He's from Arapahoe. Travis Davis of Loveland in lane 6. Jim McGregor of Regis in lane 7. Kevin McClellan of Fairview in lane 8. And Jonathan Allen, he is in lane 9. He is from Rampart. Now, lane 9 is closest to us. We're not using lane 10, so the first one that you see a competitor, that is lane 9, and you work our way to the far side of the pool, lane 2. And again, typically your top qualifiers by time, as we get splashed for the first time with water here poolside, are in lane 4, 5, and 6. They are your top 3 finishers, usually time-wise, as they give the top finisher the middle spot in the pool and work their way out. So again, heat 2 of the 50-yard freestyle, just one time up and down. And again, we'll try to see who is the winner, and looks like lane 2 pulls it in there. Actually, lane 3. Yep, lane 3 is our winner there, so that would be Paul Brunette. He is from Monarch High School, if I believe I'm reading the pool right. Yeah, lane 3. It's actually a tie between 3 and 7. So Paul Brunette of Monarch and Jim McGregor of Regis tying for the top spot in that heat. So again, we work our way to heat 3 of the 50-yard freestyle. In lane 9, closest to us, John Mattern of Cherry Creek. Lane 8, Eric Fuqua of Cherry Creek. Lane 7, Logan Legacy of Arapahoe. Phil Mathis of Littleton in lane 6. Lane 5, Ben Fry of Regis. Stephen Holliday of Smoky Hill in lane 4. Aaron Avery of Arapahoe in lane 3. And Josh Rober of Monarch, he is in lane 2. Again, lane 9 closest to us. Heat 3 of 5 here at the 5A State Swimming and Diving Championships. Again, everything today prelims. Tomorrow we work our way into the state championships, and hopefully we'll have all those races for you. So again, we're in the pool. And what happens is in all these prelims, the top 8 finishers get into the final championship race tomorrow night. The second 9 will also race tomorrow night in the consolation championship. So again, once up and down. Looks like lane 5 is going to pull away with a pretty easy win here, and that is with a time of 21:06. That is Ben Fry of Regis. He collects the win in heat 3 in the 50-yard freestyle. Fourth event of the afternoon. And I believe there are 12 events overall. Let's move our way into heat 4 of the 50-yard freestyle. Again, working our way closest lane to far lane. J.P. Piotrowski of Fort Collins in lane 9. Colin Brown of Fairview in lane 8. Miles McKenzie of Fairview next to him in lane 7. Joey Hinton of Heritage in lane 6. Bryce Carter of Chatfield in lane 5. Jacob Davis of Legacy in lane 4. Sasha Rogachevsky of Cherry Creek in lane 3. And Andrew Weber of Castleview, he is in lane 2. And again, top 8 qualifiers time-wise. Doesn't matter how you finish in your heat, as long as you're in the top 8 time-wise, you'll get into the championship race tomorrow night. We'll have one more heat in this event, and then I believe we will have about a 10-15 minute break as we'll get the wrestlers a chance to warm up in the pool for the next few events. And it looks like lane 5 again, followed closely by lane 6, yep, on the board. 21:04, the time for your winner, Bryce Carter. He is out of Chatfield. And again, he wins heat 4 of the 50-yard freestyle. Again, we apologize for the late start here on CHSAA TV. Ran into some internet issues and then some software issues. We're all a little bit sweaty, so hopefully we'll get a little water on us here as the day goes along. Final heat here of the 50-yard freestyle, Class 5A. Again, lane 9 closest to you, Mitchell Carley of Arapahoe, followed by Christian Feeler, a freshman out of Boulder. Grayson Magruder from Regis in lane 7. J.P. Beach of Castleview in lane 6. Andrew Bann of Cherry Creek in lane 5. Eric Biernat out of Regis in lane 4. Mason Sidlasic of Greeley West in lane 3. And Nathan Hamilton, he's from Ralston Valley. He's on the far side of the pool in lane 2. Again, final heat of the 50-yard freestyle. And then again, I believe we'll take a little break here. Again, just once up and down the pool, 25-yard pool here at the Epic. We're in Fort Collins for the 5A State Championships. Coverage throughout the rest of the day here. We'll pick it up tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock with the championships for both swimming and diving. Close finish there. I believe lane 5 draws the win. Nope, lane 4 actually eased him out by 0.02 of a second. So lane 4, Eric Biernat of Regis gets in there at a time of 21:60, followed closely by Andrew Barron of Cherry Creek in lane 5 at 21:62. So again, 0.02 of a second separating those two finishers in heat 5 of the 50-yard freestyle. So, well, do we have a couple more swimmers? Nope, looks like they're just, okay, people are getting into the pool for warm-up. take a break here. So again, we have a little bit of a break here. Swimmers will get a chance to warm up a little bit more as we will pick it up with our next event will be the 100-yard butterfly, but that'll be about a 10 or 15-minute break. And while we have a chance, we'll just set the camera on the middle, and I'm going to talk results here. So let me run through as we'll show you a blue screen for a minute. We're going to check something out technically here, so stay with us. We'll get the video in just a moment as you're watching there. We're just checking something out on a technical end. But let's give you again the results that we have for you through the first 4 events. Let's just start with the event we just finished. That was the 50-yard freestyle. And again, the top 8 finishers compete in the championship race. I'm used to doing wrestling, folks, so I'll say match a lot, but championship race tomorrow night. And the top 8 finishers are separated by about 72 hundredths of a second from top to bottom, so it should be a pretty good race tomorrow. Bryce Carter of Chatfield is your top qualifier with a time of 21:04. Next in line, Ben Fry of Regis at 21:06. Then Joey Hinton of Heritage at 21:26. Eric Biernot of Regis, 4th qualifier at 21:06. Andrew Barron of Cherry Creek, the 5th qualifier. I just saw him there at 21:62. Miles McKenzie of Fairview, the 5th, to make that the 6th qualifier time-wise, 21:73. Logan Legacy of Arapahoe is your 7th qualifier. And Phil Mathis of Littleton is your 8th and final qualifier for the championship race tomorrow night. Now, the second list of qualifiers, 9 through 16, they will race in the consolation finals tomorrow night. They are J.P. Beach of Castleview, Douglas County, Christian Filer of Boulder, John Mattern of Cherry Creek, Grayson Magruder of Regis, Stephen Holliday of Smoky Hill, Aaron Avery of Arapahoe, Mason Sedlasic of Greeley West, and Mitchell Carley of Arapahoe. Those are your next 8 qualifiers again that will compete in the consolation finals of the 50 freestyle. Let's move to the 200 intermediate. Top 8 qualifiers from races a little bit earlier today. Nolan Tassoni out of Pomona High School with a time of 1:51:01. He qualified over 3 seconds better than the next qualifier, Hennessy Stewart out of Regis at 1:54:05. Ian Clark of Rampart, your 3rd qualifier at 1:54:21. Reed Matthews from Denver East at 1:54:66. Alex Tooley qualified out of Fossil Ridge at 1:54:98. Pat Jones from Loveland at 1:55:13. 2 other qualifiers in the finals tomorrow night. Nick Heitanaka of Loveland at 1:55:58 and Tim Smith out of Regis at 1:55:91. And again, the next 8 qualifiers, they will compete for the consolation prize tomorrow. David Frazier of Highlands Ranch, Jesse Ireland of Heritage, Josh Schechter of Arapahoe, Ethan McNally of Loveland, Craig Odell of Lakewood, Jake Markham of Cherry Creek, Hayden Berg of Pomona, and Bruce Nierheim of Regis. Let's move to the 200 medley relay. We reviewed this earlier for folks just tuning in. Let's give you the top 8 qualifiers. Daryl Turner of Cherry Creek at 1:32:86. Check this. This is a relay, so let's go with Cherry Creek in the top spot. Daryl Turner, Zake Ballin, Andrew Barron, and John Matter in the 4 qualifiers there. Regis, your 2nd qualifier at 1:34:58. That's Hennessy Stewart, Jesse Sukamel, Eric Biernot, and Clark Smith. Loveland High School is your 3rd qualifier at 1:35:79. That consists of Ryan Ball, Nick Hatanaka, Pat Jones, and Travis Davis. Your other 5 qualifiers, it drops off a bit from there, 2 seconds back. Highlands Ranch, Chatfield, Lewis Palmer, Fossil Ridge, and Fairview. Again, the 200-yard medley relay. Those are the 8 teams that have qualified in the championship race tomorrow night. Consolation race will consist of Arapahoe, Littleton, Boulder, Heritage, Liberty, also Grand Junction, Cherokee Trail, and Fort Collins. Now we have one other event that's already been completed as far as their prelims are concerned. That was the 200 freestyle for the 5A bracket. Tyler Hicks of Pooter is your top qualifier at 141.70. Nathan Mueller of Highlands Ranch next at 142.49. Carter Griffin out of the Combine program of Ponderosa Chaparral, Legend and Elizabeth, 142.75. Kyle Henschel of Arapahoe is the fourth qualifier at 142.86. Jack Jenner of Castleview, Douglas County, next at 143.12. Andrew Torres of Ralston Valley at 143.78. Cooper Bowen of Loveland also qualifies for the championship race tomorrow, 144.36. Hunter Baines, the eighth and final competitor, he's out of Lewis Palmer, a sophomore, at 144.96 his time. Now the next eight, they will compete for the consolation prizes tomorrow. Zach Suter of Regis, Jeffrey Longhurst of Boulder, Chris Dawson of Regis, Wyatt Orman of Cherry Creek, Tim Sutherland of Fairview, Tristan Mosby of Grandview, Alex Walton of Fairview, Sam Kaufman of Cherry Creek. So those are the four events that we have had so far with the preliminaries. We're in the middle of a break right now, so the wrestlers can re-warm up, if you will, and we will pick it up here in just a few minutes at the 100-yard butterfly. Now we're going to take off the audio. We'll leave the picture up so you can follow along and be ready for us when we start the next round. We have the 100 butterfly, then the 100 freestyle. Then we will pick it up with the 500-yard freestyle, the 200 freestyle, the 100 backstroke, 100 breaststroke, 400 freestyle relay, and I believe that is it as we work our way through the rest of the evening. So we will again take a break here. We'll keep the screen up so you can tune in and catch the start of the men's 100 butterfly. You're watching CHSAA TV. Check 1 2. Test 1 2. Test 1 2, check 1 2, check 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 check. Test 1 2 1 2. You want it down or? Okay. Okay, we are back here at the Epic in Fort Collins. Again, this is the 5A Swimming and Diving Championships for CHSAA here in 2012. We're getting set here for the first heat of the 100-yard freestyle. Just 3 racers here. Zach Sertic of Ponderosa, Aaron Wildman of Boulder, and Chad Rabisi of Palmer. This is the first of 6 heats for the 100-yard butterfly. And again, the top 8 finishers, as we had before, move on to the championship race tomorrow afternoon, early evening. So again, 100-yard butterfly, we go down and back twice. 3 racers here, Zach Sertic, Aaron Wildman, Chad Rabisi. Really doesn't matter how you finish in your respective heat. It's all based on time. And again, the top 8 wrestlers, or 8 swimmers. Again, I apologize. I've done a lot of wrestling in the past, so we keep referring back to that. But again, top 8 swimmers from these 6 heats will move into the championship race coming up on Saturday. Again, we'll be here at the Epic in Fort Collins tomorrow on CHSAA TV at 2 o'clock. And your top finisher there was Zach Sertic of Ponderosa at a time of 21:60. I don't think that's correct. I don't believe we had the timers there up on the board because that was our last race. Let's move to Heat 2. Let's go to Heat 2 here of the 100 butterfly. And again, lane 9 is closest to you. And then we work our way to lane 2. Evan Kober of Fairview in lane 9. Jordan Carrara of Ralston Valley in lane 8. Josh Van Kooten of lane 7. David Hartley of Cherry Creek in lane 6. Austin Hill of Fort Collins will be in lane 5. Joe Flynn of Grandview in lane 4. Keegan Sotebeer of Ponderosa in lane 3. And Marshall McCurdy of Boulder in lane 2. There we have our last finishes. And Aaron Wildman was first in that heat at 57:20. So here we're coming up once we get those 3 out of the pool. I think we're having a little bit of issue with the timing mechanisms here. And now we're about ready for heat number 2. And again, closest to you is lane 9. Far side of your pool, of your picture on the top half, is in lane 2. Again, this is the 100 butterfly. And the top 8 finishers from these respective heats move on to the finals tomorrow. Again, we have 8 more events yet. We have finished with 4. This is event 5 here in the preliminary round. Everything today is preliminaries. And again, finishers move into the championship of the swimming tomorrow night. We also have diving prelims tomorrow. We will not broadcast those on CHSAA TV. They take place tomorrow morning. So again, this is heat 2 of the 100-yard butterfly. Difficult for us to get an angle here, but it looks like lane 6 is your leader right now. That would be David Hartley out of Cherry Creek. This will be their last time coming down the pool. Again, these swimmers are competing just for time right now. Obviously, you'd like to win your heat, but again, you would like to finish in the top 8 more importantly, and as high as you can to get toward that middle of the pool. And again, we have lane 6, it looks like, maybe 7. Nope, looks like lane 6 wanted at 54:38. That is David Hartley of Cherry Creek. He wins heat number 2. So now we move to heat number 3. Again, lane 9 closest to us. Michael Johnson of Rampart, Michael Chen of Fairview in lane 8. Tanner Baldwin in lane 7. He's from Arapahoe. Columbine's Grant Olson Stavrakis in lane 6. White Orman of Cherry Creek in 5. Orion Huey of Fossil Ridge in lane 4. Zach Ballin of Cherry Creek in lane 3. And Clayton Tuck of Liberty, he is in lane 2. Again, this is heat 3 of 6 in the 100 butterfly. And swimmers, of course, get into the pool. And again, as I mentioned, we're working for time here. This is up and down and then up and down. It's a 25-yard pool here at the Epic, so this is 100 yards, so 4 lengths of the pool. And again, top 8 finishers out of the 6 heats. So again, you probably want to finish 1-2 to realistically have a chance to move on time-wise. Your leader right there looks like lane 5 at the turn was Wyatt Orman of Cherry Creek. So we're right now in heat 3 and getting set for heat 4 of the 100 butterfly. We have a big lead here, it looks like, coming to the near side of the pool here, right in front of us. Our officials get right in front of us. We can't see very well, but the camera, of course, can. And there, lane 5 with a pretty easy victory, it looks like, with a time of 53.12. That is Wyatt Orman of Cherry Creek, who is the winner of heat 3. Finishing in second is Grant Olsen-Stavrakis of Columbine with a time of 54.50. So again, Orman, very good there, won that by almost a second and a half. Let's move to heat 4. Again, 100 butterfly. Max Bennett of Ponderosa will be in lane 9. Again, closest to you. Working our way from us on the video there, Carlos Matthews from District 51, that is out in the Grand Junction area. Logan Garbarini of Fairview in lane 7. Max Holter of Fort Collins in lane 6. Ryan Arata of Lewis Palmer in lane 5. John Frank of Pine Creek in lane 4. Mitchell Bruckman of Regis in lane 3. And on the far end of the pool, Jacob Roberts. He swims for Ponderosa. Again, heat 4 of 6, 100-yard butterfly. State record and the 5A record, by the way, is held by Mark Dilla, set back in 07, a time of 48.23. And man, our fastest time so far has been 51 here in the prelims. That's 3 seconds faster. So again, 4 lengths of the pool here. And we'll look at it at our turn here. Looks like lane 5 has your lead there. That is Ryan Arata out of Lewis Palmer. That, of course, down in the Colorado Springs area, the Rangers. Their bus followed us in here to the Epic. So again, here we'll finish on this length of the pool, and it still looks like Arata has a pretty comfortable lead here, almost a body length, and he will win easily, followed by the competitor next to him, Max Holter out of Fort Collins. Your time at 50.42. Second place at 52.04. So again, that's a very good time. 2 seconds better than what we've seen so far from Ryan Arata out of Lewis Palmer. 2 more heats, and then we will determine the top 8. We get the results handed to us pretty quick from the CHSAA desk, so we'll be able to talk about those 8 finalists pretty quick. After these 2 heats, we'll move into the 100 freestyle, which again is a very popular event. It's very fast, one of the faster events of the swimming championships. Again, I'm Kevin Schaefer. Lexi Schaefer is the graphics coordinator. Jeremy Weathers working the camera tonight for CHSAA TV. We'll be here the next 2 days. Heat 5 of the 100 butterfly. Again, nearest to us is Spencer Payton of Regis. In lane 8, Dion Williams of Ralston Valley. Jake Markham in lane 7 for Cherry Creek. Chatfield's Austin Lehman in lane 6. David Frazier of Highlands Ranch in the middle of the pool in lane 5. In lane 4, Josh Schechter of Arapahoe. Jake Thielen of Fossil Ridge in lane 3. And in lane 2 at the top of your screen, Gabe Muir. He is from Fairview. Pretty competitive race here. Looks like, what, lane 6? Lane 6 has our lead at the turn. That's Austin Lehman of Chatfield. His time of 24.10 at the turn. Lane 4, I believe, is second there at 24.86. That's Josh Schechter. Got a nice big scoreboard up to our right here. Jeremy does a good job of getting the times over after each race, so you can follow your favorite swimmer here. 1 more heat after this one, and it looks like lane 5 and 6 will be 1-2 here at the finish. As we had at the turn, that's David Frazier of Highlands Ranch. He turns in a time of 51.11. Then Austin Lehman of Chatfield next in line at 52.01. So that is heat 5 of 6. Our final heat in the 100 butterfly. Again, top 8 swimmers time-wise, not how you finish as far as placing, just time-wise. We'll move on to the finals. Heat 6, Henrik Auckland of Fossil Ridge here nearest to us in lane 9. TJ Condi of Cherokee Trail in lane 8. Connor Cox in lane 7. He's from Lewis Palmer. Reed Matthews of Denver East in lane 6. Clark Smith of Regis, the only sub-50 swimmer in this event in the year, so he's the favorite in lane 5. Eric Biernot of Regis next to him in lane 4. Jacob Holtzman from Ponderosa in lane 3. And Dash Sperling of Arapahoe in lane 2. So if we have somebody that may challenge a state record, it would be Clark Smith out of Regis. His qualifying time of 49.03, about 0.8 of a second off the state record. We'll see what he does tomorrow night. That, of course, pending he qualifies here, but based on time, we expect that to happen. Again, final heat of 6 here at the 100 butterfly. This is at the Epic Center, Epic Swim and Ice Center up in Fort Collins, just off Prospect. Very nice venue. They had the 5A Girls Championships here, and, of course, it's hosting the 5A Boys event as well. Lane 5, as expected, Clark Smith of Regis humming through here at a 100-yard butterfly. One more length of the pool after they make the turn here. 24, actually lane 4 was your leader. That's Eric Biernot. He was at 23.88 at the turn, so he was ahead of Clark Smith. Let's see what Smith does in the second half of the race. Very close to the finish, but I think Smith is going to get him at the reach, and he does at 50.56 rather. So Smith is your winner. Number 2 is in lane 6, so Reed Matthews out of Denver East. He did a good job there in the second half, second 50 yards of that 100-yard race. So that wraps up the 100 butterfly. We move into the 100 freestyle. We move into the 100 freestyle, where we will again have 6 races, 6 prelims, I should say, to determine the top 8 finishers. We have just 3 wrestlers in this, 3 swimmers rather. Again, just hit me in the head when you hear that, but 3 swimmers here in this first preliminary. In lane 6, again, closest to you, Arthur Maletyun out of Smoky Hill. Dylan McNally from Loveland, just a freshman in lane 5. Wesley Stutzman, a sophomore from Fossil Ridge. He is in lane 4. This is the 100 free. So again, the same length as we just saw with the butterfly, 4 lengths of the pool. And again, the top 8 finishers from these 6 preliminary races move on to the state championship race tomorrow night. Now the next 8 qualifiers also will race tomorrow night in the consolation championships. Looks like we have 5. Number 5 is our leader, Dylan McNally, at 24.35. Again, just 3 competitors in our first of 6 heats. So we work our way through the 100 freestyle. No diving tonight. Everything is in the pool, if you will, swim version. The diving preliminaries will be tomorrow. That is lane 6. Check that, lane 5. 50.29 is your time for Dylan McNally. He is your top qualifier there from Heat 1. Again, I say top qualifier. That doesn't necessarily mean he advances. Everything is based on time. So again, you could feasibly win your heat, but not qualify if you're in a slower heat. Let's move to Heat 2, 100 freestyle. We have 6 swimmers here. Starting in lane 8 is Court Sharp. He's from Monarch. Then it's Chris Walsh of Boulder in lane 7. Brian Jack in lane 6 from Cherry Creek. Connor Corrigan from lane 5. He's with Fairview. Cherry Creek's Ryan Lynch in lane 4. And Campbell Thomas from Boulder is in lane 3. 100-yard freestyle. 4 lengths of the pool here at the Epic. There we make the turn, and I believe lane 5 had the lead there at 24. Check it, it was lane 4, time of 23.90. That's Ryan Lynch out of Cherry Creek. He's your top qualifier, or top or leader, I should say, at the halfway point of the 100 free in heat number 2. And again, our winner is heat 5. That is Connor Corrigan with a time of 49.52. Finishing next is lane 8. That's Court Sharp of Monarch with a time of 50.15. So Corrigan of Fairview, Sharp of Monarch, your top 2 finishers in Heat 2. We'll pick it up in Heat 3. Full roster here of 8 swimmers. And now we're going to work it from top. We're going to start in lane 2, the far side of the pool, or the top of your picture, and work our way closest to us. Sam Urban of Regis in lane 2, again, top half of your screen. David Silver of Liberty in lane 3. Travis Davis of Loveland in lane 4. In lane 5 is Jonathan Allen of Rampart. Arapahoe's Mitchell Carley is in lane 6. In lane 7, Nathan Hamilton of Ralston Valley. J.P. Piotrowski of Fort Collins in lane 8. And Kyle Colley of Cherry Creek is in lane 9. 2 swimmers closest to us are just sophomores. And our top qualifier time-wise was Tyler Hicks. Check that. I'm in the wrong heat. Boy, these are all in the 50-second range. These swimmers are separated only by 0.3 of a second with their qualifying times on the season. So this should be a pretty close race from start to finish. 50.03 was your top qualifying time. That's in lane 5. Jonathan Allen out of Rampart. We'll see how he fares today. Looks like lane 3 is your leader at 23.29 here at the halfway point. That's David Silver of Liberty. Again, that's in the Colorado Springs region. So one more turn here, and then it's a sprint to the finish at the 100 freestyle, heat number 3. Got a pretty tight race as expected. We'll have to go to the board for this one. I think lane 7 lane 6 actually. Lane 6 pulled that out barely by 0.4 of a second. Lane 6 is Mitchell Carley of Arapahoe with a time of 49.27. It's almost a full second better than his qualifying time. Let's move to heat 4, 100-yard freestyle. They're walking out. Again, lane 2 is on the far side of the pool. That's Andrew Weber. He's with Castleview. Lane 3, Hunter Baines of Lewis Palmer. Lane 4, J.P. Beach of Castleview. Tyler Hicks of Pooters in lane 5. He has the best time of these swimmers at 46.29. Jack Jenner is in lane 6. He's a swimmer from Castleview. Tristan Mosby, lane 7. He's from Grandview. Lane 8, Josh Rober of Monarch. And Fairview's Tim Soderlund is in lane 9. Again, closest to us here on your screen at CHSAA TV. Again, we will have all the preliminary matches throughout the rest of the night here live on CHSAA TV. You can also check them out on demand after the fact at CHSAA TV. And then tomorrow we'll pick up our coverage at 2 o'clock with the swimming and diving championships. Now, the diving prelims are tomorrow. We will not be able to bring that to you, but we'll pick up the championship matches in the middle of the swimming finals tomorrow evening. At the turn was a lane 5 there with our best time of 22.74 as expected. That is Tyler Hicks of Pooter. He has about a 1.2 second lead on all the other swimmers as far as qualifying time on our heat sheets here. So it's no surprise he is out front. And it looks like he will win this heat almost by a full body length. That's a pretty good swim for Hicks at 46.61. So Tyler Hicks of Pooter wins that heat. He is followed by Jack Jenner of Castleview at 48.10. So about a 1.5 second win there for Tyler Hicks in that heat. He will be one of the favorites, we guess, tomorrow night. But he'll have to track down Daryl Turner of Cherry Creek. We'll talk about him a little bit later on. This is heat 5. Heat 5 of 6 in the 100 freestyle. Again, lane 2, far side of the pool, is Austin Acree of District 51. That is Grand Junction. Logan Legacy of Arapahoe is in lane 3. Josh Tanucci of Littleton in lane 4. Bryce Carter of Chatfield is in lane 5. Kyle Henschel of Arapahoe is in lane 6. Max Phillips of Fairview in lane 7. Zach Suter of Regis in lane 8. Miles McKenzie of Fairview is in lane 9. Now again, the swimmer in lane 5, Bryce Carter of Chatfield. He had the top qualifying time of 46.22. He's a senior. and hoping to compete in the state championship tomorrow night. We'll talk more about defending champs tomorrow and so on and so forth, but we will just get through the prelims to see who qualifies. This is a tight race here. And lane 8 actually, no, yeah, lane 8 at 22.76. That's Zach Suter of Regis had the top time at the lead there at the halfway point. We'll go by the board. That's real tight along there. You can't really tell who hits first. So we'll use the board. It's the official time. It's a pretty tight race in the middle of the pool. And again, we have lane 6 with the win. That is Kyle Henschel out of Arapahoe. And lane 5 is number 2. That's Bryce Carter. So Henschel wins it at 46.68. Carter next at 46.79. Arapahoe wrestlers, you see the big A on their head there on their swim caps as he came toward the finish. Let's move to heat 6. And I want to mention Daryl Turner of Cherry Creek. He'll be in lane 5. We've mentioned a couple of swimmers with qualifying times in the 46-second range. His qualifying time is 44.84. And in this pool, no other swimmer is better than 47.05, so he should win this one going away, this heat anyway. He's in lane 5, but up in lane 2, Aaron Avery of Arapahoe. Zach Kugler in lane 3, top half of your pool in Chatfield. Ethan McNally in lane 4 from Loveland. Turner with Cherry Creek in lane 5. Ben Fry in lane 6, he's from Regis. Joey Hinton of Heritage in lane 7. Grayson Magruder of Regis in lane 8. And Alex Coleman, a freshman here closest to us, he is from Smoky Hill. This is the final heat of our 100 free. We'll break away from the sprints and move into the 500 freestyles. That would be, 20 times up and down the pool. So I didn't catch the times there at the turn. Actually, I did. Turner at 21.02 had a comfortable lead. And, boy, look at him. Again, a full body length, a little bit more as he easily swims to the heat title. And you got to look at him here. Let's look. 44.19. Wow. Number 2's in lane 6. That's Ben Fry at 45.31. 44.19. Where's my sheet here? I was going to look at the state record. Is 44.63. So that's actually a state record. I'm not sure if that qualifies in the prelims, but that's better than the state record of 44.63 set back in 1997 by Jay Shriver. He will easily beat the 5A state record of 45.26 set 2 years ago by Spencer Franck. So that's a blazer. Daryl Turner there, heat 6 of Cherry Creek. I'll have to check that. I'm not sure if that counts in the prelims or not. We're going to move to the 500-yard freestyle. And we don't have, we have some wrestlers or some swimmers coming up, but let's give you the top 8 qualifiers in the 100-yard butterfly. Ryan Arata of Lewis Palmer is your top qualifier at 54.2. Clark Smith of Regis next at 50.56. Reed Matthews of Denver East, your third qualifier at 50.86. Eric Biernot of Regis, your fourth qualifier at 50.94. Your other 4 competitors in the state finals tomorrow, David Frazier of Highlands Ranch, Austin Lehman of Chatfield, Max Holter of Fort Collins, and Wyatt Orman of Cherry Creek. Your next 8 qualifiers will compete in the Consolation Championship race tomorrow in the 100 butterfly. Josh Schechter of Arapahoe, Jake Markham of Cherry Creek, John Frank of Pine Creek, Jake Thielen of Fossil Ridge, Spencer Payton of Regis, Mitchell Bruckman of Regis, Connor Cox of Lewis Palmer, and Jacob Holtzman of the combined program at Ponderosa, Chaparral, Legion, and Elizabeth. And we've confirmed that is a new state record, so it does count. That's a new state record there for Daryl Turner of Cherry Creek at 44.19. That's 44.19 in the 100 freestyle. And again, that beats the record set a long time ago, 1997, of 44.63 from Jay Shriver So he beats it by 44 hundredths of a second. That's a considerable amount in a 100-yard race on the high school level, nearly half a second. He demolishes that state record that's been there a while, since 1997. Swimming is one of those events that you see a turn of records quite often. When we did the 4A girls event earlier this year, we saw state records dropping like flies on the night of the finals. Going to slow it down a little bit here at the 500-yard freestyle. And again, you will notice on the far side, they have signs up for the swimmers as they make the turn on that far side of the pool. They know how many more laps or trips that you have to do, so they can keep track and focus on swimming instead of maybe keeping track of where they are in the race. Again, this is the 500 freestyle, so you've got basically 20 lengths of the pool. Your competitors for this one, we have we have 6 heats here. Again, far side, top side of the pool on your screen, Derek Jacobs of Fossil Ridge, just a freshman. He's over in lane 2. Christian Baker of Highlands Ranch is in lane 3. Kevin Lannon of Fossil Ridge is in lane 4. Dominic Byrne of Heritage is in lane 5. He's a freshman. Arapahoe's Kyle Larson in lane 6. Luke Thompson of Horizon in lane 7. In lane 8, Daniel Antonez of Smoky Hill. And Nick Hamilov of Rampart, he is in lane 9. Nobody's named Chris Smith anymore. So again, those are your 8 competitors here, 500-yard freestyle. And we'll do our best to kind of see who is in the lead. That is lane 4 there. First one to make the turn off the start-finish line, Kevin Lannon of Fossil Ridge. He's a junior, has the second best time of this qualifying group. Again, you can see the speed is quite a bit slower than what we saw just a moment ago in the 100 free. This is the 500-yard freestyle. Jared Markham set the state record and the 5A record in this event just last year at 4:26.20. Now, as you look at that, I look down my list of qualifiers, and it looks like 4:39 is your best time as far as seating is concerned. That's 13 seconds off the state record set last year. So Jared Markham may be safe for at least the first year of his record holder. Again, first of 6 heats here of the 500 freestyle. Okay, so this is event 8 of 12 here in the preliminary round of the 5A Swimming and Diving Championships. Again, we're at the Epic up north here in Fort Collins. We have individual qualifying going on today. And, of course, we'll have a team championship crown tomorrow night, and everybody expects it to go to Regis, and why not? They've won 17 of the last 18 championships. Not exactly sure. Maybe it's the card that's wrong. Okay, yeah, he said he had 33 laps to go. I think that's what they were whistling at, the officials here on our side of the pool, down at the far side of the pool. The guy had his sign, it said 33 laps to go. He's got a long race. As you can see there on your, I don't know if you can read those on your screen or not, those signs there at the end of the pool. Kind of hard to see with some of the light coming in. See, that's how many laps they've done. I said how many they have left, but that's how many they've done. And again, they have to do 20. So again, they just went to 15. So this is 16 laps here as we're just finishing. Looks like lane 5 is our leader. That's Dominic Byrne. Well, correction, I missed the first 2 guys on the turn. Christian Baker of Highlands Ranch was the leader at that point at 4:01. And they stick those signs down in the pool. That's the fun part of it. They stick the sign, okay, and there is the gun lap. So that tells the leader that he's got to finish one more loop around the pool, if you will. He's got to go up and down again to finish. So again, these long races, it's probably not unusual for a swimmer to maybe lose track. It's a lot of activity, and there the signs say red, so that tells you this is the last length of the pool. So here at the end, we will have our winner of this heat. And again, as you get the longer races, obviously they're more spread out. And there we have our finisher. That would be lane 3 at 5:01 is Christian Baker. 5:01:04 his time. He's a sophomore from Highlands Ranch. Lane 4 is your second best time. That is Kevin Lannon of Fossil Ridge, a junior, 5:06:94. So Christian Baker of Highlands Ranch finishing first. Kevin Lannon of Fossil Ridge finishing fourth in the first of 6 preliminary races in the 500-yard freestyle. Okay, so wrestlers are out of the pool, and we'll get our second heat in. Okay, so we move into this round, heat 2. Top side of your screen in lane 2 is Walter Docksher. He's from Fossil Ridge, a freshman. Another freshman from Lakewood is Aaron Sett. He's in lane 3. Jeremy Goodison from Castleview, a sophomore, in lane 4. Grayson Goodwin from Heritage in lane 5. Bruce Neerheim from Regis, a sophomore, in lane 6. Carlos Matthews, a sophomore from Grand Junction, District 51. He's in lane 7. In lane 8, Josh Zimmerman of Cherry Creek, a sophomore, and closest to you on the screen, Nicholas Tanucci, a freshman from Highlands Ranch, rounding out the roster for heat number 2, heat 2 of 6 in the 500 freestyle. So again, 20 laps of the pool, 20 lengths of the pool, or 10 up and downs, if you will. And so again, we have a little bit of time. Let's drop in the top 8 qualifiers from the 100 freestyle. Again, just wrapped up the prelims. Daryl Turner, as we told you, from Cherry Creek, the top qualifier, with a new state record time of 44.19. He beat a record set in 1997. You're talking a 15-year-old record he smashed today by 44/100ths of a second. Ben Fry of Regis is the second qualifier at 45:31. Tyler Hicks of Pooter, third best finisher at 46:61. Kyle Henschel of Arapahoe, the fourth best qualifier at 46:68. Your other 4 finalists are Bryce Carter of Chatfield, Joey Hinton of Heritage, Miles McKenzie of Fairview, and Zach Suter of Regis. Now your next 8 qualifiers, again, this is the 100 freestyle. Your next 8 qualifiers will wrestle in the consolation finals tomorrow. They are Jack Jenner of Castleview, Douglas County, Logan Legacy of Arapahoe, Ethan McNally of Loveland, Hunter Baines of Lewis Palmer, Grayson Magruder of Regis, Tim Soderland of Fairview, Tristan Mosby of Grandview High School, and J.P. Beach of Castleview. Your 2 alternates are Josh Tanucci of Littleton and Mitchell Carley of Arapahoe. So again, we have finished 7 events, and we have our 8 finalists. And I'm not sure if you can check out those finalists and complete on CHSAA.org. I will check that. They're using High Tech's Meet Manager rather, to score this meet, and I believe they have the results posted on CHSAA.org. You're watching coverage on CHSAA TV. Again, we'll make the turn here. After this, we will have 7 lengths of the pool to go. And in lane 6 was your leader at 1:52.60. That's Bruce Neerham of Regis. He was your leader past the halfway point here. Or check that, not to the halfway point. I said he had 7 lengths to go. That's 7 complete. Got my signs mixed up on the far end. There's your halfway point. And again, your leader now at 2:22.63 continues to be Bruce Neerheim of Regis. Now the swimmer next to him in lane 5 had the best seed time at 5:04.60. That's Grayson Goodwin. So Neerheim was the second best qualifier, but he is currently your leader. Can they make the turn? As they get to the far end of the pool, they will have completed 13 lengths, or 6.5 laps. Wonder how well they can see that. I mean, some of these guys wear goggles. and then they've got to read that and comprehend it as they're turning to push off against the wall. Nierheim continues to lead. He's a sophomore from Regis. This is heat 2 of 6, the 500-yard freestyle. So again, this is the long event of the day. We'll pick it up a little bit more with the men's 200 freestyle relay. That'll be a blistering pace there, as you have 4 swimmers each swimming up and down in the pool. So it's basically a sprint for 4 competitors. That's one of the more exciting events, probably the most exciting relay. Nierheim starting to stretch it out a little bit. He was kind of just a body length. He's got a body length plus here as he heads toward the far end, as he will be completing 17 of 20 trips up the pool. And there's your gun. Everybody screams, of course. And again, these are not your finishers or your leaders coming in here toward the start-finish line. Jeremy's actually following the leaders on screen there. They have just made the turn, so here's your sprint, if you call it that. It's more of an endurance race here toward the finish. Again, this is heat 2, and Nierheim will pretty much lead start to finish here. So Nierheim finishes with a time of 4:51.89. Was that right? Man, that's like 15 seconds quicker than his seed time. And then 4:53.42 for Grayson Goodwin will be the next 2 finishers. So that's quite a bit better than the time they used to seed these competitors. So Nierheim with the finish, and as you can see, he's going all out with the swimmers because he's got the full head shaved and everything. So there's no water resistance on that body. And he is your winner of heat number 2 in the 500-yard freestyle. Let's move to heat number 3. Again, 6 heats in this 500 free. Again, lane 2 on the top side of your screen. That's Frank Morton of Regis. Next to him in lane 3, Travis Roundy of Chatfield. Another Chatfield swimmer, Justin Barwick in lane 4. Cade Baines in lane 5, a freshman out of Lewis Palmer. Gannon Fowle, Regis seniors in lane 6. Derek Lewis in lane 7, he's from Smoky Hill. Ander Thompson in lane 8, a sophomore from Cherry Creek. And closest to us here, James Boone, a freshman. He is from Grandview. So again, heat 3 of 6 in the 500 free. This was event 8 of 12 here in the preliminary round. Again, no diving today. Diving prelims are tomorrow morning. And then you have all the championship races, 11 of them, plus the diving finals tomorrow. That gets underway at 2. And that's why we'll bring you all the action here on CHSAA.tv. And just underway here, heat number 3 of 6. In the 500 free. Lane 2 is your leader there at the first turn, Frank Morton, time of 54.83, in a junior out of Regis. I'm not sure if you can see those signs very well on the camera. I can't pick them up because there's, the light from the outdoors coming in. We've got 2 big bay windows right by that turn line, and then on the far side, a bigger bay window. So that kind of makes our camera off a little bit, but Jeremy's doing a good job. We can see quite a bit of the wrestling right here the swimming on the finish. How many times have I said wrestling? About 4. Again, we're used to sitting there at the Denver Coliseum doing 3 days of matches at the state wrestling tournament, so it's taken a while to get that out of our system, I guess. 4A swimming championships also available on CHSAA TV. Ben Blecka and crew down at the VMAC in Thornton doing preliminaries as we speak. Their schedule is the same as ours. Also track and field championships from Jeffco Stadium
They're on CHSAA.tv. Started yesterday, continuing today, wrapping up tomorrow. That's a marathon event there. 3 days, all classes at the one event, or one facility there at Jeffco. Tomorrow night we have the boys lacrosse championships as well. Marty Cesario will have that call. That's a 7:30 start from Invesco Field at Mile High. And then Wednesday night we will have the girls lacrosse championships from DU, University of Denver. And that is a 4:30 start for the girls championship. Soccer, baseball also winding up their spring seasons as the 2011-12 sports year coming to a close here in Colorado. Championship baseball this weekend in 1A and 2A, quarterfinals 3, 4, and 5A, and their championship rounds are next week, 4A and 5A, available on CHSAA TV. So we made the turn there. Our best time at 2:54.14 again is Frank Morton in lane 2 out of Regis, the junior. He was your leader at that turn. He has finished 13 lengths of the pool. Again, they need to do 20. He's got a pretty comfortable margin here. You can see him on the top half or top part of your screen there, way out in lane 2, and he's got 3-4 body lengths of a lead. The rest of the field pretty tightly bunched here. And we're not too far away from the gun firing again, so we will have some shrieks in the crowd here momentarily. As long as they don't hit Jeremy, we'll be okay. He's our camera guy. Again, Morton with a comfortable lead here as they come to the turn again. And again, he's got a comfortable lead, although it looks like our two swimmers here on the near side in lanes 9 and 8 are starting to make up a little ground. Lane 8 is Andrew Thompson of Cherry Creek, James Boone of Grandview here in lane 9. Look on their turn, they're making up some ground. So as Morton approaches the start-finish line here, the gun will go off. And that means he has to go up and down one more time. And boy, we'd had a nice job here by the freshman out of Grandview, James Boone. He has really closed the gap. In fact, he is 15 hundredths of a second behind there at the turn, 4:28.25 to 4:28.40. So we'll see if Boone can finish off the long comeback as we race toward the finish here. And he is going to pull away because Morton is kind of falling off his pace. In fact, we'll probably have lanes 9 and 8, 1-2 here right in front of us. It'll be close though. Yep, lanes 9 and 8. Boone from Grandview, Thompson from Cherry Creek finish 1-2. So a strong second half of that race by the freshman James Boone at 4:57.01. Thompson right behind him, right beside him at 4:58.25. Morton held on for third at 4:59.08 rather. So heat 3 of 6 is in the book. Again, the top 8 qualifiers advance to the finals tomorrow night. And there's your times on the screen from that heat number 3 of 6. So we go to heat 4. And again, we'll start at the top of your screen in lane 2 as they walk out here momentarily. It'll be Daniel Deischer of Lewis Palmer, just a freshman. You have Jason Hicks of Poudre, a sophomore. Andrew Parker of Highlands Ranch is a senior in lane 4. Yuhan Hong of Smoky Hill is in lane 5. He has the best time here at 4:41.96. Andrew Torres of Ralston Valley in lane 6. Classmate Jeremy Pacheco, also of Ralston Valley and a senior in lane 7. In lane 8, Alex Walton of Fairview. And again, closest to you on your screen, Raynon Pritchard of Fossil Ridge. He is a sophomore. So again, 20 lengths of the pool, 10 up and downs. In heat number 4 of 6 here at the 500 freestyle. Again, top 8 finishers will race for the championship individual title tomorrow night. Next 8 will compete in the consolation race, championship race, for spots 9 through 16. And again, top qualifier as far as seed times in this heat, the sophomore in lane 5 from Smoky Hill, Yuhan Hong at 4:41.96. Andrew Torres of Ralston Valley not far behind in lane 6 at 4:45.35, so a separation of a little over 3.5 seconds.
So we'll watch those two to see how they fare. And again, you can't always tell early on in the race who's going to be the dominant. As we saw, Frank Morton there pretty much led everything until the last 2 lengths of the pool, where he fell from first to third. Here in lane 5, though, it does look like Yuhan Hong is out to a very good start. And he is a sophomore from Smoky Hill. And looking at it, he's about probably third in the qualifying time. We have a couple of swimmers coming up in the 4:39 range. Hong is at 4:41 and some change, so he's looking to finish high on the medal stand tomorrow night in this championship round. Of course, first he has to qualify here this afternoon, but it doesn't look like he's going to have much of an issue doing that. And just past 6 o'clock here at the Epic in Fort Collins. Beautiful facility. Hosted the 5A state championships on the girls' side. Missy Franklin of Regis, the probable Olympian, was the headliner in that event. We don't have an individual of that stature here on the men's side, but we've already had a state record go by the board as Daryl Turner of Cherry Creek flew to a time of 44.19 in the 100 freestyle to set a new state record that was previously set way back in 1997. That's a long time ago for swimming. So here we have, is that lane 5? We'll look on the board here. Lane 4 actually is your leader. That is Andrew Parker of Highlands Ranch at 2:16.42. Hong of Smoky Hill in lane 5 next to him at 2:18.53. So those are your leaders at that turn. And as, again, our signs on the far end say, as they touch the wall on the far side of the down end of the pool, they will have finished 11 trips. So 8 more laps. And another heat will be in the book. Again, next event up is the 200 freestyle relay, followed by the 100 backstroke, then the 100 breaststroke, and the 400 freestyle relay. So again, this event, 6 heats, it takes the longest because it is the longest event of the championships. Again, lane 4 continues to lead. Lane 6 now moves into second. So Parker of Highlands Ranch is your leader. Andrew Torres of Ralston Valley in second. Yuhan Hong has fallen down to third. So 15 laps have now been finished. 15 trips rather. For the top 3, and they have a comfortable lead on the 4th place swimmer. That's down in lane 3, which is Jason Hicks, a sophomore out of Pooter. So again, swimmers will finish this stretch, make the turn and come back, and then you will hear the gun go off again to signify the final lap, if you will. You see that most often in track, like on the mile or 2 mile when they fire it. They also do it here in swimming. And again, lane 4, there we go. And everybody jumps. But lane 4, Andrew Parker, followed closely by Andrew Torres. In 3rd place, Yuhan Hong. So our swimmer with the best seed time might be in trouble of making the finals. He was about 3 seconds behind your leader here at the turn. He's got a lot of ground to make up. Again, it doesn't matter how you finish in your heat. It's just the top 8 finishers time-wise through all the heats that advance into the championship round. So again, here is your final lap as they race to the end. Lane 4, lane 6, and then lane 5. So lane 4 with a time of 4:40.09. That is Andrew Parker from Highlands Ranch. Next in line is Andrew Torres of Ralston Valley at 4:40.60, so a little over a tenth back. So a pretty good race there. So we'll see what happens with Yuhan Hong of Smoky Hill. Again, the sophomore had the best seed time coming in, but he finishes 3rd in his heat. May have trouble seeing his name in the top 8. Again, top 8 qualify for the championship race tomorrow night. Let's move over to heat number 5. Heat 5 of 6 here. Again, 500 freestyle. There you see the times of heat 4. And now we'll cruise down to the swimmers in heat 5. They are, top to bottom, Stephen Gracier of Boulder, a sophomore in lane 2. Brandon Barocchio of Hinckley is in lane 3. Ian Clark of Rampart is in lane 4. Middle of the pool is Loveland sophomore Ryan Ball. In lane 6, Hayden Berg. He's from Pomona, a junior. In lane 7, Pat Jones of Loveland, a junior. Sam Kaufman, a freshman from Cherry Creek, in lane 8. And Denver East youngster Graham Downing here in lane 9. So again, 4:39.96, just under 4:40 is your best seed time. That belongs to Ryan Ball in lane 5, again a sophomore out of Loveland. But as we just saw in heat 4, sometimes that does not matter. But as far as seed time is concerned, he's about 6 seconds better than Hayden Berg next to him in lane 6. Again, typically lane 5, your top qualifier as far as time, followed by lane 6, then lane 4. That's what you will see tomorrow night in the championship. So as is the case in the 100 freestyle, tomorrow night Darrell Turner of Cherry Creek will be in lane 5. Ben Fry of Regis will be in lane 6. Tyler Hicks of Poudre would be in lane 4. And you work your way to the outer edges of the pool. So again, tomorrow night, most of your top finishers will be right in the middle. So again, we've been up and down twice here in this heat number 5 of 6 in the 500 freestyle. And the state record is 4:26.20, set last year by Jared Markham. 4:40 and change is the best time we have posted here in the preliminaries, but it's very rare you set a record in the prelims as you kind of just try to qualify and save your energy for the championship race on Saturday. Kind of got a log jam there in the middle of the pool as they work their way down for the 7th length of the pool. Tightly bunched the top 4 spots there, but lane 5 actually, has the best time at 1:49.70. That's Ryan Ball of Loveland. Then you have lane 5, 6, and 3. 4 is also in there, very tightly bunched. They give you the split times on the board and then they pick up the race a little bit later on, so sometimes it's hard to gauge. And they don't put the places on the turns here. They just wait till the very end to spot up who wins first, second, and third, and so on down the way. And tomorrow night in the championship matches, we will probably have to rely on the scoreboard to determine some very tight finishes. So again, as you can see, as they come here to the start-finish line, you've got 4 swimmers right there together. And again, lane 5 is your leader, but by 0.3 of a second over lane 6. So Ryan Ball with a narrow lead over Hayden Berg, lane 4 and 3. Ian Clark of Rampart, Brandon Barocchio of Hinckley also right there. So it's anybody's race here, about 3/4 of the way through the race. 500 freestyle, longest race for the men here in Colorado. We have a coach on the far side, and it always interests me to wonder if the swimmers can hear that, because he's whistling and waving his arms like to go faster, but I'm not sure if a swimmer can see that. Maybe when he comes up for air, but you would think he's just focused on his form. So again, we make the turn for 16 completed lengths. And again, we've got pretty good race there among the top 4. So they will come back to the start-finish line, our leaders. And again, your gun will be loaded here. It's aimed, ready, now fire. So again, they'll touch here and then it's down and back to the finish. Lane 6 is Hayden Berg. He continues to lead. And then you've got Hayden Berg. Check that, Ryan Ball's your leader. Hayden Berg is in second. Ian Clark is in third. So now they make the final turn and it will sprint here toward the start-finish line, and we will give you our heat winners. Again, trying to finish in the top 8 to qualify for the championship race tomorrow night, and that will be lane 5. So lane 5 is number 1. That is Ryan Ball with a time of 4:40.13. Lane 4 finished second, Ian Clark at 4:41.28. He's from Rampart. And lane 6 was third. That's Hayden Berg of Pomona at 4:41.75. So they are your top 3 finishers in heat number 5. Let's move to heat 6. This is our final heat of the 500 free. And then it will be on to the 200 free. Again, we'll start in lane 2, top of your screen. Daniel Hendricks, a freshman from Fairview, is there. Lane 3 is David Galvin of Loveland, a senior. Lane 4 is Loveland junior Cooper Bowen. Middle of the pool belongs to Carter Griffin. He's a junior from Ponderosa. Nathan Mueller, a sophomore from Highlands Ranch, in lane 6. Chris Dawson of Regis in lane 7. Michael Havenar of Lewis Palmer, juniors, in lane 8. Bryce DaVincia of Cherry Creek is a senior. He is in lane 9. So this is our final heat of the 500 free. These swimmers have to beat everybody but 6, or 7 I should say, of the previous times to qualify for the championship race tomorrow night. In 20 lengths of the pool, or 10 laps if you will. So again, this is heat 6, final heat of the 500 freestyle, event number 8. Then we have the 200 free relay, the 100 backstroke, the 100-yard breaststroke, and then the 400 free relay to wrap up the preliminary rounds. As you can see there at the start-finish line, 4 swimmers, pretty tight there. As we work on the 5th length of the pool. In heat number 6 of the 500 free. Again, still very tight as we come to the start-finish line. Middle of the pool, lanes 5 through 7. Anybody's race there, lane 9 here is Bryce DaVincia of Cherry Creek. He's also in contention. And as you can see on the screen, we're in heat number 6 of the prelims of the 500 freestyle. And you're watching the coverage on CHSAA TV. You can watch this live throughout the preliminaries and the championships tomorrow. And also on demand as well after the fact. You can log on to CHSAA TV and pull up the event and watch your swimmers as well. Still very tight in the middle of the race. Just past that last turn that you saw at the start finish was the midway point of the 500 free, heat number 6. We'll get you up on some times here as it's starting to spread out a little bit. It's like our swimmer in lane 5, Carter Griffin of Ponderosa, is your leader, and that is the case at 2:45.18. That's about a second lead over the swimmer in lane 6, which is Nathan Mueller, a sophomore out of Highlands Ranch. Again, 10 trips up and down, or 20 lengths of the pool. It's a 25-yard pool here at the Epic in Fort Collins. You watch Olympics, I believe they are 50-meter pools, because they have the 50-meter sprints there in the Olympics, which are just one trip down. So again, we'll touch the far wall there. And when we hit the start-finish line with our leaders, 3/4 of the race will be complete. And again, it looks like Carter Griffin out of Ponderosa is starting to stretch it out just a little bit. Not quite a full-length body over his next closest competitor, Nathan Mueller of Highlands Ranch. But they were 1-2 at the turn last time, and they continue in that spot, separated by about 1.2 seconds. It looks like those two are picking up the pace just a little bit. In third place over here in lane 7 is Chris Dawson of Regis, but he's a little bit back. So it looks like it's going to come down to the last two, and there you see the gun. We won't see that for a while or hear that for a while, which isn't a bad thing. And now we're almost neck and neck between these two swimmers, Griffin and Mueller. Griffin from Ponderosa, Mueller from Highlands Ranch. It's going to be real close to the finish. They'll make their final spin there and come racing toward the start-finish line. And this is a pretty close finish when you consider the length of the race, 500 yards. And it's going to come down to a touch, but it looks like lane 5 is going to win barely by 27/100ths of a second. The heat championship goes to Carter Griffin over Nathan Mueller. Those two were 1-2 most of the way, and they finished that way here at the end and separated by just 27/100ths of a second. That is pretty good. That's a pretty tight race for that length of a race. So again here momentarily we will get our top 8 qualifiers thanks to the folks over there at CHSAA. They're using the high-tech meet manager to score this event, and it's usually just a few minutes after the final heat, and they get us a sheet with the top 8 qualifiers. I believe that information is also available on chsa.org as they're tracking the race as we go. We move to the 200 freestyle relay. Now we don't have individuals in these races, just have teams listed in front of us. But we have 5 heats, and again the top 8 will move on to the championship race tomorrow. 200 freestyle, that means 4, or the relay rather, that means 4 swimmers. They each go up and down. It's basically a sprint with 4 competitors. This first heat we will have 4 teams. In lane 4 is Greeley West. Lane 5 is Palmer. Lane 6, Denver East. And the closest to us here in lane 7 is Hinckley. So again, these 4 teams will compete. And again, these swimmers are in the pool now. They'll go up and down. They'll touch, and then you'll have another swimmer into the pool. And so on for our relay. This is one of the more competitive relays because, again, you got 4 sprinters, if you will, on your team. And coming here to this first leg, lane 5 is your leader at 24.41. That is Palmer. Palmer, of course, from the Colorado Springs region. They're in lane 5. On the top side of them in lane 4 is Greeley West. Nearest them, Denver East and Hinckley. So again, this is leg 2 of 4. Heat number 1, 200 freestyle relay. There's the touch. Next swimmer is in the pool. And again, lane 5, Palmer still with your lead halfway through at 49.23. Everybody else at 5:50 or worse, or slower, I should say. And again, you're racing for time here. You have to finish in the top 8 to move on. Lane 5 continues to lead, and they continue to stretch it out now with about a 1 1/4 second lead is Palmer. They lead Denver East again by about 1.25 seconds. And there is your finish. And again, Palmer finishes with a time of 1:37.08. Not sure if that will stand up for a spot in the finals. And you got to finish in the top 8. So again, Palmer with the best time in that heat at 1:37.08. Bucket load of swimmers coming out here. A total of 32 swimmers go out. So you have 8 teams competing in heat 2. In lane 2 is Doherty. In lane 3, Rocky Mountain. Lane 4, Liberty. Lane 5, another Colorado Springs area school, Pine Creek. Lane 6, Ralston Valley. Lane 7, Legacy. Lane 8 is Mountain Range. And lane 9, again nearest to us on your screen, is George Washington. Now the best time belongs to Pine Creek at 1:33.99, 0.17 of a second better Then the team of Ralston Valley right next to them in lane 6. Your state record, by the way, 1 minute 24:76, set by Regis back in 1994. We're pushing 20 years old there. So again, 4 sprinters up and down. Pretty good wave they set when they hit that thing. And again, our first leg coming here to the start finish. Looks like lane 4 with a top time of 22:87. That is Liberty. Followed by lane 5, Pine Creek at 23:51. Now we're getting swamped by swimmers. Got officials in front of us, CHSAA folks to the left of us, swimmers to the right of us, and behind us. We're on our own little area here. And again, at that turn, we have lane 4 with your leader at 45:77. Lane 4, of course, is Liberty, followed by Pine Creek, 35/100ths of a second trailing. This is your third leg of 4 in the 200 freestyle relay, heat number 2 of 5. Lane 4 continues to lead at 108.47. Lane 5 next at 109.38. That's Liberty first, Pine Creek second. This is your final leg. So down and back, and it looks like lane 4 is going to hold on here. I don't think Pine Creek has enough time to catch him, and he won't. So lane 4 finishes with a time of 1:31. That's 1:31.54. Pine Creek next at 1:32.09. So the last heat's time, best time was 1:37. Top 2 here were 1:32 and 1:31. So again, that first heat, that's not going to hold up. But heat number 2, Liberty is 1, Pine Creek is 2. Let's move to heat 3 of 5 here again, a 200 freestyle relay. In lane 2 is Highlands Ranch. Lane 3, Ponderosa. Lane 4 is Poudre, again from the Fort Collins area, so this might be their home pool. In lane 5 is Arapahoe. Lane 6, Chatfield. They're the top 2 qualifiers. Lewis Palmer in lane 7. Monarch in lane 8. And Fort Collins in lane 9. Arapahoe and Chatfield, the top 2 qualifiers of this heat, I should say. And again, the top 8 teams move on. Let's quickly tell you the top 8 finishers as they line up here, but the top 8 finishers of the 500 freestyle: Carter Griffin of Ponderosa, Nathan Mueller of Highlands Ranch, Andrew Parker of Highlands Ranch, Ryan Ball of Loveland, Andrew Torres of Ralston Valley, Ian Clark of Rampart, Hayden Berg of Pomona, Chris Dawson of Regis. They are your top 8 qualifiers in the 500-yard freestyle. They'll race for the championship tomorrow night. Carter Griffin, the top time of 4:36 flat. This is leg number 1, heat 3 of 5 of the 200 freestyle. Again, 4 swimmers on each team. They all go down and back. This is leg 1. And lane 5 has your best time there at 22:06 in the first leg. That is Arapahoe. And followed by lane 4 at 23:09. That is Poudre, the Impalas. Arapahoe in the lead. They are the Warriors. Lane 5 will continue to lead here at the halfway point of the 200 free relay. 44.10. Lane 6 is snuck into second. Check that. Lane 7 is now in second at 45. Well, check that. Lane 8 at 45.33. We'll stop trying to figure that out. Arapahoe with the lead, followed now by Monarch. They're all bunched together on the board, and again, they don't say the places on the individual legs. Leg 3 is done. Arapahoe still with the lead at 105.93. 108.25 in lane 6 now is in second. That is Chatfield. So Arapahoe 1, Chatfield 2 as they come to the finish of heat 3 of the 200 free. And Arapahoe will win this thing going away. They hit the wall first, followed by lane 6. That is Chatfield. So a time of, wow, 126.95. Well, that is a full 11 seconds better than the first heat and 5 seconds better than heat 2. So again, as you go along, you get your faster racers most of the time. So Arapahoe 1, Chatfield 2 in heat 3 of 5 of the 200 free. Let's move to heat 4. Heat 4 in lane 2 is Grandview. Lane 3 will be Rampart as they march out here. Lane 4 is Smoky Hill. Lane 5, Cherry Creek. Lane 6, Loveland. Lane 7, they listed as District 51. That is Grand Junction, their combined program. Fossil Ridge is in lane 8, and Pomona is in lane 9. So again, this is the 4th heat of 5. That last heat, we just noticed that Ponderosa in lane 3 was disqualified. Not sure why. Maybe they had a swimmer jump early before the touch. I doubt they would have qualified for the finals anyway based on their time, but just to make a note of that, they were DQ'd. So Grandview at the top of your screen, Rampart in lane 3, Smoky Hill in 4, Cherry Creek 5, Loveland 6, District 51 in 7, Fossil Ridge in 8, Pomona 9. You're my hero. They just brought us water. I said you're my hero to the staff here at the Epic. They brought us some water. We're watching all this water being splashed, and we're a little bit parched. First leg is in the book there. And looks like lane 5 and 6 basically in a tie at 22-62. That's Cherry Creek and Loveland. Cherry Creek's pulled a little bit of lead there. 44.02 to 44.62 at the halfway point. About 6/10 of a lead over Loveland, but the Bruins are in first, followed by the Indians. Leg 3, finishing. Creek still with the lead, Loveland in 2, and a very close race for third here between Fossil Ridge and Smoky Hill. So again, this is heat 4 of 5 in the 200 freestyle relay. It looks like Creek's going to basically go end to end here. They will win the heat, followed by Loveland, and then anybody's guess here for 3. You had 3 wrestlers virtually touch at the same time. 1:27.02 is your win time for Cherry Creek. That trails only Arapahoe in my notes here. Lane 6 Loveland at 1:27.91, and in third, the team from Fossil Ridge snuck in there at 1:30.10. That's a very tight race. So let's jump up to heat 5. Heat 5, the last heat in the 200 freestyle. Lane 2 is Cherry Creek. Again, that's the far side of the pool on your screen. Lakewood in lane 3, Fairview in lane 4, Regis in lane 5, Castleview in lane 6. Heritage is your team in lane 7, Littleton in lane 8, and Boulder is in lane 9. While we have a chance here, let's give you the second 8 qualifiers for the 500 free that will swim in the Consolation Championship. They are Yuhan Hong of Smoky Hill, Brandon Barocchio of Inkley, Cooper Bowen of Loveland, Pat Jones of Loveland, Jason Hicks of Pooter, Sam Kaufman, a freshman from Cherry Creek, Alex Walton from Fairview, and Michael Havenar of Lewis Palmer. They are qualifiers 9 through 16 in the 500 free, and they will wrestle for the consolation title tomorrow night. So again, here the final heat of the 200 freestyle relay, and this is very tight. Middle of the pool, we see lane 5 and lane 6 is your leader at 21.92. That is Castleview, followed closely by Regis in lane 5 at 22.01. So look for this one to be tight all the way through. Here we hit the halfway point, leg 2 coming to a close. And lane 5 is now your leader at 43-48. So Regis has taken the lead over lane 4, which is Fairview. So again, you can move up and down in this race very quickly all the time. Now they're starting to stretch it out a little bit. Lane 5 at 104.33. That is Regis. This is the final leg of the final heat of the 200-yard freestyle relay. And we'll come to the finish here as expected. Regis will win. Tight through the first leg. They continue to pull away. And very close here between lane 4 and 8. Looks like 8 took it. But again, Regis wins with a time of 1:25.15. As you can see on the board, lane 8, Littleton, is your second place finisher at 1:27.76. And lane 4 is in third place, Fairview, at 1:27.87. Won't be surprised if all 3 of those teams are in the finals tomorrow night. So again, up on your board, you see the lane. That is your first number on your left. And then the finish is next, and then the time is in your third column there. So lane 2 finished 7th with the time of 1:33.45. That's how you read that board. So now let's move to the 100-yard backstroke. 100-yard backstroke. This is heat 1. In lane 3 is Mitchell Ryder of Boulder, Paul Brunette of Monarch in lane 4. Riley Allen of Arapahoe in lane 5. Stuart Ederle of Fairview, a freshman, in lane 6. Riley Rickert of Grandview is in lane 7. This is heat 1 of 5. There are 5 swimmers here. The state record is 48.75, set by Mark Dilla. Back in 07, that's one of 2 state records he set. I remember that name from earlier. So again, the backstroke, 100 yards, so they go up and down, up and down. And your leader there was in lane 6, 27.08. That is Stuart Ederle out of Fairview. So here's your final stretch here. As they come to the start-finish line, looks like on the far side there, I can't really tell. Looks like lane 3 is going to pull away there. That'll be your winner of this heat. That is Mitchell Ryder of Boulder, again with a time of 57.65. So 57.65 is your winner there, Mitchell Ryder. Let's quickly give you the qualifiers of the event that just finished, the 200-yard freestyle relay. Regis, a time of 1:25.15 is the top qualifier, followed closely by Arapahoe, then Cherry Creek, Littleton, Fairview, Loveland, Castleview, Douglas County, and then Chatfield. Those are your 8 teams that'll swim for the state championship tomorrow night. Your second 8 will compete in the consolation finals. They are in order: Fossil Ridge, Pooter, Rampart, Smoky Hill, Lewis Palmer, Monarch, Fort Collins, and Liberty. Those are your top 16 finishers of the event we just closed up, the 200 free relay. We're in heat 2 here of the 100 backstroke. Ethan Pfeiffer of Arapahoe is in lane 2. Again, that's the top of your screen. Kincaid Hoffman of Fossil Ridge in lane 3. Sebastian Harvey of Fairview, he's in lane 4. Dylan Moore in lane 5. He hails from Grandview. Eric Kofflau of Arapahoe in lane 6. David Hartley of Cherry Creek in lane 7. Eric Russell of Lewis Palmer in lane 8. And Addison Cohn of Ralston Valley, nearest to us here, in lane 9. We do not use lane 1 or 10 here. Everything lane 2 through 9, so this is a full heat. Heat number 2 of the 100-yard backstroke. Very tight race here as they make the turn. Looks like lane 3, lane 4 is your leader at 26.66, followed closely by lane 6. So lane 4 is Sebastian Harvey of Fairview. Lane 6 in second place, Eric Kofflau of Arapahoe, halfway through heat number 2. They come toward the finish line. This is a very tight race, as you can see. And lane 6 wins it narrowly. That's Eric Kothlau. Time of 55:46 for the Arapahoe senior. Then in second place is lane 4. That is Sebastian Harvey of Fairview at 55:62. In third place is lane 7, David Hartley, as you can see on your screen there. Let's move to heat 3 of 5. Henrik Oakland of Fossil Ridge in lane 2. Grant Olson Stavrakis of Columbine in lane 3. Jake Thielen of Fossil Ridge in lane 4. Pomona's Nolan Tassone in lane 5. Highlands Ranch senior Andrew Parker in lane 6. In lane 7, Austin Phillips of Regis. Lane 8, Mason Sedlasik of Greeley West. And Jacob Holtzman of Ponderosa is here in lane 9. As you can see, they're in the water to start here on the backstroke. Heat number 3. Have to finish in the top 8 to qualify for the state finals. After this, we go to the 100-yard breaststroke and then the 400-yard freestyle relay to finish up the night. So we got a late start because of some technical issues, but we finished with the last 8 events. Last 9 events actually on CHSAA.tv. We'll have all the finals for you tomorrow night. Tomorrow afternoon, I should say, beginning at 2 o'clock. Same schedule for the 4A. Halfway through, very tight. 25:63 is your top time. That is in lane 5. It belongs to Nolan Tassone of Pomona. Heat number 3 of 5 here at the 100-yard backstroke. Kind of run through these prelims very fast. Tomorrow night's finals will move a little bit slower because they bring the swimmers out and then they announce all the swimmers, and they actually have kind of a march in for all the finals. There is the finish there, and lane 5 grabs the heat win. That's Tassone from Pomona at 51:28. Jeremy moves it up there, and you'll see lane 6 is your second place finisher, Andrew Parker, with a time of 52:24. So again, the first number you see is your lane. Second number is the finish. Your third number is your time. There's 2 columns. Let's move to heat 4. In lane 2 is Tyler Fair of the Grand Junction District 51 team. Max Holter is in lane 3. He's a freshman from Fort Collins. Sam Urban, a senior from Regis, in lane 4. Hennessy Stewart, a sophomore from Regis, in lane 5. Lane 6 belongs to Ryan Arata, senior from Lewis Palmer. TJ Condi from Cherokee Trail in lane 7. Garrett Suter of Regis in lane 8. And Grant Atkins of Cherry Creek here in lane 9. You see the CC on his cap. Some of those guys go about half the pool underwater there on the start. Down and back twice here, 100-yard backstroke. Have the same length of race next. Different form though, the breaststroke. Lane 5 with a narrow lead there over lane 6 by about 0.4 of a second. That's Hennessy Stewart of Regis with the lead over Ryan Arata of Lewis Palmer. I believe those two have already qualified for the finals in at least one other event. So here we come to the start-finish line here of heat number 4. And we're racing for time, and this one is, wow, separated by 100th of a second. That's close. Hennessy Stewart is first at 50.47. Ryan Arata next in line at 50.48. So the top 2 finishers separated by 100th of a second. Stewart from Regis narrowly over Ryan Arata of Lewis Palmer. Look for those 2 in the finals tomorrow night. Final heat here of the 100-yard backstroke. We'll have a full field as well, including a couple of freshmen on the top end of the pool. Lane 2, Zachary Nix of Legacy. Lane 3, Christian Filer of Boulder. Lane 4, Austin Lehman of Chatfield. Daryl Turner has already set a state record today. He's the junior from Cherry Creek in lane 5. Ryan Ball from Loveland in lane 6. Chris McMahon is in lane 7. He's from Highlands Ranch. Connor Cox, lane 8. He's from Lewis Palmer. and Austin Acree from, again, the Grand Junction area. They listed at District 51 in lane 9. Daryl Turner, as we mentioned, has already been in the pool in a big way today. He set a new state record in the 100 freestyle in the prelims, 44.19. He had the top qualifying time by about 1.2 seconds, and he set the record by nearly half a second that was held back from 1997. And it's no surprise he has already jumped to a quick lead here. Halfway point, he makes the turn at 23.26. Wow. Next in line is lane 4 at 24.97. That's Austin Lehman. That's 1.6 seconds difference one time down the pool and back. So Turner will breeze to this heat win. And he so far has been the highlight of the prelims as he touches well ahead of everybody else. And he just set another record, guys. Just set another record, 48.22 for Daryl Turner. He breaks the record held since 2007 by Mark Dilla of 48.75, so he beats that by about a half a second. That's his second record today. So Daryl Turner, easily the star of the prelims. In second place of that heat was Austin Lehman, over 3 seconds back. Wow. So Daryl Turner again finishes off the 100-yard breaststroke, or backstroke rather, in style. So he set a record in the free. He sets a record in the backstroke. Let's see if he's in any other event. He's probably in a couple of relays. So here we go. Let's move to the 100-yard breaststroke. Quickly they line up. 4 competitors here in Heat 1. There'll be 6 heats. C.J. Ammon of Heritage in lane 4. Chris Langlet of Smoky Hill in lane 5. Dylan Orono of Legacy in lane 6. Tyson Nicholson in Castleview, Douglas County, is in lane 7. So again, just 4 swimmers here in Heat 1 of 6. This is our second to last event of the night, so we've been moving through this pretty quick today. So again, I missed the turn there. Lane, that's a tight one. Lane 7 with the narrow lead. That's Tyson Nicholson of Castleview. But again, right there, C.J. Ammon and Chris Langlet of Heritage and Smoky Hill respectively, separated by about 3/100ths of a second. So that's very tight here in this first heat of the preliminaries. So you can see they're in the breaststroke, probably the toughest stroke. And here, closest to us, Tyson Nicholson gets the win of this heat at 1:05.06. So Tyson Nicholson of Castleview, as you see there, in lane 7, finished first with a time of 1:05.06. So we'll quickly move to heat 2. Again, this is the 100-yard breaststroke. 6 heats altogether, must finish in the top 8. Again, top of your screen is lane 2. First one there in the march is Nathaniel Gorsline of Greeley West. He's just a freshman. He'll be in lane 2. In lane 3, Ryan Tooley of Fort Collins. Magnus Chun is in lane 4. He's from Fossil Ridge. That's a school here in Fort Collins. Porter Bennett of Lakewood in lane 5. Christopher Wilson in lane 6. He's from Pine Creek. Taylor Watson in lane 7 from Arapahoe. Boulder's Jesse Gershman in lane 8. And Rampart's Thomas Stutzream is in lane 9. So again, a full heat here, heat number 2 of 6 at the 100-yard breaststroke. As they get in the pool there, let's give you the top 8 qualifiers of the 100-yard backstroke. Again, just finished up moments ago. Daryl Turner again in state record-setting fashion. Junior from Cherry Creek is your top qualifier. He'll be joined in the finals by Hennessy Stewart of Regis, Ryan Arata of Lewis Palmer, Nolan Tassone of Pomona, Austin Lehman of Chatfield, Ryan Ball of Loveland, Andrew Parker of Highlands Ranch, and Jake Thieland of Fossil Ridge. But again, this is Turner's race to lose tomorrow night. He had the top qualifying time by over 2 seconds. So lane 6 was our leader there at the halfway point. That's Christopher Wilson, senior from Pine Creek, at 29.81. Again, 100-yard breaststroke. We have a good view until these guys come back, you know that? So here we come to the start finish of the breaststroke, and as you can see, a very tight finish. Lane 9 here, closest to us, gets the win. Thomas Stutzream, he's from Rampart, 104.18. He will get the heat win. He was followed on the other end of the pool by Nathaniel Gorsline of Greeley West at 104.48. So you had the outside winning. That's unusual. Usually your top finishers are in the middle of the pool, but here we have a winner in lane 9 and a runner-up in the heat over in lane 2. Let's move to heat number 3. Well, we're going to butcher this name. Ray Asobi, I believe is how you pronounce that. He's a junior from Fairview in lane 2. Ricky Huddleston from Chatfield in lane 3. Joe Ladd of Cherry Creek in lane 4. Eric Trenary of Loveland in lane 5. Zach Surtek in lane 6. He's from Ponderosa. Adam Fiala of Lewis Palmer in lane 7. Tim Martin of Hinckley in lane 8. And Littleton's William Patton here in lane 9. Again, heat 3 of 6, 100-yard breaststroke. State record at 54.69, set in 1997 by Dave Deniston. The 5A record is almost 2 seconds slower than that. Kyle Miranda in 2004. Very tight turn here at the midway point. Have to sort that out. 29.35, that belongs to lane 4. That's Eric Trenary of Loveland. Right behind him, Zach Surtek of Ponderosa is in second spot halfway through heat number 3. Come to the start finish here. And again, very tight. Matter of a touch here in lane 5. Nope, lane 4 got it. 102.71. So Joe Ladd, 102.71, senior from Cherry Creek, wins the heat narrowly over Eric Trenary in lane 5 of Loveland at 102.80. So again, they're not really wrestling for heat finish, they're wrestling for heat time as you want to finish in the top 8 to move on to the state finals tomorrow night. Let's move down to heat number 4. Sasha Rogachevsky of Cherry Creek in lane 2. Colin Brown of Fairview in lane 3. Lucas Karasek of Highlands Ranch. Might be Karasek in lane 4. Alex Tooley of Fossil Ridge in lane 5. Craig Odell's in lane 6. He's from Lakewood. Tyler Fair of District 51. Again, Grand Junction in lane 7. Jeffrey Longhurst of Boulder in lane 8. And Sean Kim of Cherokee Trail here in lane 9. This is heat 4 of 6. Then we'll move back into the relays, 400-yard freestyle. So again, almost some sprinters again, but a little bit longer distance. So again, we approach the turn here at the midway point, and again, very tight. You see, 5 swimmers very close together. It looks like lane 5 had the lead there. Alex Tooley, the time of 28:39. We'll weed ourselves through the spectators here to get a good shot of the scoreboard. We're right next to the start-finish line here at the Epic in Fort Collins, and a lot of traffic around us, let's put it that way. And there is the finish of heat number 4. And lane 5 gets the win. That is Alex Tooley, of senior of right here in Fossil Ridge, of Fort Collins, I should say. Fossil Ridge, a school in Fort Collins. Lane 6 takes home second. That is Craig Odell of Lakewood with a time of 1:56. Lane 3 was your third place finisher. That's Colin Brown of Fairview. We'll move over to heat 5. In lane 2 is Logan Brock of Arapahoe. Lane 6, Josh Bedford of Cherokee Trail. Lane 4, John Matern of Cherry Creek. Stephen Holliday's in lane 5. He's from Smoky Hill. Stanley Lake's Eric Ung is in lane 6. Mason Markle of Smoky Hill in lane 7. Quinlan Stewart of Regis in lane 8. And Alexander Kleinhans of Lakewood is in lane 9. Fifth of 6 heats here of the 100 breaststroke. Again, 4 trips through the length of the pool, or 2 laps. And he's middle of the pool again, 1-2 there. Lane 5 is your leader. Stephen Holliday of Smoky Hill at 27:13. Right next to him in lane 4 with a time of 27:54 is John Matern of Cherry Creek. So they'll head back toward this start-finish line. And again, they're racing for time. Obviously, they want to win their heat, but it's more important that they get a time to put them in the top 8. And there we have lane 5 with your win. 58.25 for Stephen Holliday. Lane 4, Matern of Cherry Creek next at 59 flat. And at 1:00.44 in lane 6 is your third place finisher, Eric Ung of Stanley Lake. So we'll go to heat 6. Heat 6 here, the final one of the 100-yard breaststroke. Lane 2, Andrew Hanna of Regis. Lane 3, Jesse Ireland of Heritage. Lane 4, Tim Smith of Regis. Nick Hatanaka of Loveland is in lane 5. Zach Ballin of Cherry Creek in lane 6. Matthew Sema of Poudre, a freshman, in lane 7. Jesse Sukamel of Regis in lane 8. Evan Cobra of Fairview is in lane 9. So our final heat here of the 100-yard breaststroke. Then we'll move to our final heat of the night, or event of the night rather, the 400-yard freestyle relay. So we are into the pool here, the final heat, 100-yard breaststroke. Haven't come close to setting a state record in this one. We've already had 2 state records tonight, both belonging to Darrell Turner of Cherry Creek in the 100-yard backstroke and in the 100-yard freestyle. Again, this is the halfway point of this heat. So 100-yard breaststroke, 4 trips to the pool. Quick turn there for lane 5. 27:11 at the turn. That is Nick Hatanaka of Loveland. Lane 6 in second place, Zach Ballin of Cherry Creek at 27:90. And it's sometimes hard to see who's leading because they're in under the water for so long, and then they pop up here with the breaststroke. And again, it looks like Hatanaka is going to win this easily, and he does. 57:34, over 2 seconds better than the second place swimmer in lane 6. So Hatanaka first at 57:34, and then Ballin next at 59:54. And that'll wrap up your preliminary races of the 100-yard breaststroke. We'll go back to relays here, event number 12, final event of the night. Then we'll shut her down for the evening and pick up our coverage again tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock for the championships of both swimming and diving. We will not provide coverage of the diving prelims. I believe they get underway at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. So the 400-yard freestyle relay, heat 1 of 5 heats. And again, as we've had throughout the night, this first heat not full, just 3 teams competing. Hinckley in lane 4, Greeley West in lane 5, and in lane 6 will be George Washington. And again, we have the 400-yard freestyle relay, so 4 swimmers a team. And they will each go 100 yards, so that's down and back, down and back. Then they'll touch, and the next swimmer will jump in and do the same thing. So 16 lengths of the pool, all combined, or 8 laps. And we'll hit here. Halfway on the first leg, 24:36 in lane 5. That is Greeley West. State record here is 3:06.04, set by the Cherry Creek Bruins a couple of years ago. And my guess is they'll have a guy by the name of Daryl Turner anchoring their coverage or their team this year. Again, you're watching the 5A swimming preliminaries here on CHSAA.tv. First leg is over at 50.55. Greeley West continues to lead, second swimmer in the pool. Again, we don't have individual names. We may have that tomorrow night in our championships. We should get the individual swimmers for each of the relays, so we'll be able to mention them as they get in. But here we just have the teams listed for the preliminaries as we work our way through leg 2 of 4, heat 1 of 5, here in our final event of the day, the 400-yard freestyle. Here again, the finish of leg 2, so we're hitting the halfway point of this first heat, and you see the third swimmer get into the pool for our leader, Greeley West. Again, we don't have the individual names, so we can't help you there. Greeley West continues to have a pretty comfortable margin here. Again, this is the first heat, only 3 teams in it. West in the middle of the pool in lane 5. Hinckley, top of your screen in lane 4. George Washington, bottom of your screen there in lane 6. But as you can see, Greeley West has a comfortable edge here. This is leg 3. Final turn for this swimmer. He'll come down to the start-finish line and touch, and your anchor leg, if you will be in the pool. We also have the finalists for the 100-yard breaststroke. We'll get to those in just a moment here. We'll get this first relay in the books. And again, Greeley West with a big lead. Although Hinckley is starting to close the gap a little bit there in lane 4. Have several lengths lead before, kind of midway through, but Hinckley is starting to catch up. Whether or not they have enough time to chase down Greeley West, we'll see here. But again, this is heat 1 of 5. They'll make the final turn here, and this will end heat number 1. And Hinckley again continues to close the gap under a body length, but he's going to run out of time, and Greeley West will win this heat with a time of 3:30.09. Or 19 rather, 3:30.19. And Hinckley is next at 3:31.30. But again, those times will be hard to sneak into the top 8. Typically, your lower times are in the early heats, and the speedier times are in the lower heats, or farther heats, I should say, like heat 4 and 5. So we'll see if that's the case here in the 400-yard freestyle. So as you can see on your time, Greeley West in lane 5 gets the win at 3:30.19. Let's move to heat number 2. Doherty is in lane 2, first ones to march out. Mountain Range in lane 3, Rocky Mountain in lane 4. Fort Collins in lane 5, so a couple of neighborhood schools here in lane 4 and 5. Cherokee Trail is in lane 6, Lakewood in lane 7, the Grand Junction area team from District 51 in lane 8, and Denver East rounds out the roster here in heat number 2. They are in lane 9. Again, your state record is 3:06.04, set 2 years ago on May 22nd by Cherry Creek. So again, underway here, heat number 2, 400-yard freestyle. So each swimmer will do 4 lengths of the pool. And then they'll touch and give away to the next swimmer. Let's quickly give you the finalists here for the 100-yard breaststroke. Again, the event just wrapped up. Nick Hatanaka of Loveland was your top qualifier with a time of 57.34. Next in line, Stephen Holliday of Smoky Hill at 58.25. Your other qualifiers are John Matern of Cherry Creek, Zach Ballin of Cherry Creek, Tim Smith of Regis, Alex Tooley of Fossil Ridge, Jesse Ireland of Heritage, and Eric Ung of Stanley Lake is your 8th qualifier. Now your next 8 will also swim tomorrow night in the consolation finals. That group consists of Craig Odell of Lakewood, Andrew Hanna of Regis, Mason Markle of Smoky Hill, Jesse Sumako of Regis, Colin Brown of Fairview, Matthew Sema of Pooter, Quinlan Stewart of Regis, and Evan Kober of Fairview. There as we finish off the first leg, lane 9 is your leader at 51.93. So that is Denver East. A blistering time there on that first leg of 51.93. They continue to lead through that first turn by about 2 seconds over lane 4, which is Rocky Mountain. So Denver East out of the Denver City League leading the pack here in heat number 2 of 5 of the 400-yard freestyle relay. Here we approach the halfway point, and Denver East has lost their lead. Lane 5, I believe, has regained the lead. That is Fort Collins with a time of 1:45.88. Denver East maintains second at 1:46.23. So now we are in leg number 3. Denver East back in front here as they take the lead halfway through leg number 3 at 2:09.56. Lane 5 now in second, about 2 seconds back, is Fort Collins. So East has been in a comfortable lead, fell to second, back to a comfortable lead here. Let's see if they can hold on through the 3/4 mark of this 400-yard freestyle heat number 2. Denver East touches first with a comfortable lead at 2:35.12. Wow, they've got like a 5-second lead on the Fort Collins now. So they should be able to cruise to this win. Let's see if they can get into the finals. They still have a comfortable margin here. Right close to us, right close to the camera is heat 9, or lane 9. That is Denver East. They made the turn at 3 minutes, 17 hundredths of a second. And that is over 4 seconds better than number 2, which is in lane 2 now. That is Mountain Range. So Denver East coming right at you here on your screen. They will be your winner of this heat in lane 9. And let's see who else comes in second. Might be all the way in lane 2. But Denver East gets a very good win. They fell down to second place in leg number 2, but recovered nicely. 3:28.51. You will see there in lane 9 is your winner of the heat. And again, up in lane 2, Doherty was not in the top 2 for most of the race, but they finished there with a time of 3:30.89. So again, your 2 outside lanes, I said it's rare, it's happened twice here tonight. They finish 1-2. Let's move down to heat number 3. As you see your times there. All the swimmers that just competed jump into the warm-up pool to our right, making room for the next set of competitors. This is heat 3 in lane 2, Liberty. Lane 3, Rampart. Lane 4, Pooter. Lane 5, Arapahoe. Lane 6, Loveland. Lane 7, Littleton. Lane 8, Heritage. Lane 9 is Grandview. In heat 3 of 5, top 8 teams, as far as time is concerned, they move on to the state finals tomorrow night. Next 8 teams will also swim tomorrow, and they will compete for the consolation championship. As you can see there, heat number 3, 400-yard freestyle relay, still in the prelims. This is our final event of the night. 12 events We had 11 swimming competitions. We did not do any diving tonight. Their prelims, which is considered a 12th event, is tomorrow morning. We'll pick up the coverage with the championship matches Saturday afternoon. They start at 2 and continue throughout the day on CHSAA.tv. Same schedule for 4A. Boys lacrosse championships tomorrow night. Track and field wrapping up as well. They're at Jeffco. Have the girls lacrosse championships on Wednesday. Soccer and baseball also upcoming. Leg number 1 here, heat number 3, 400-yard freestyle. These swimmers coming on their final lap. Once they touch, the next swimmer can get in, but not before that. And what is we got, lane 8 maybe? Lane 7 rather, 48:06 is your time. So lane 7, Littleton, followed closely by Loveland there through the first leg. So we're up just a little bit higher. And we could see a little bit better the scoreboard there. They make the turn. Lane 7, let's check that. Lane 6 now with the lead. And lane 5 has jumped into second. So Loveland maintains the lead. Arapahoe has slipped into second. Littleton slides down to third. Here in leg 2. Not quite finished. This will mark the end of leg 2. As they touch, boy, lanes 5 and 6 neck and neck. In lane 6 with a lead of 0.05 of a second over lane 5. That's Loveland and Arapahoe 1-2 halfway through heat number 3 here, 400-yard freestyle. Make the turn again. I don't think this. Lane 5 now with the lead. That's Arapahoe. This will finish off leg number 3. Looks like lane 5 is going to be leading. That would be Arapahoe at 2:26.19, followed closely by lane 6, Loveland, at 2:26.33. So here's our final leg. And again, teams are trying to finish in the top 8 time-wise. You could finish 4th in your heat, but if you're among the top 8 times overall, you will get into the championship race tomorrow night. And it still looks like Arapahoe has the lead over Loveland. Littleton sitting in 3rd place right now. That's kind of been the top 3 teams of this heat the entire way. And Arapahoe will finish 1, Loveland 2, Littleton 3. Your times, again, Arapahoe with the lead, or the win rather, at 3:12.16. Lane 6 at 3:13.42. That is Loveland, and Littleton finished 3rd in that heat. But again, that doesn't matter if they get into the top 8 time-wise. So again, Arapahoe, Loveland, and Littleton, 1, 2, 3 in that heat, as you see on your screen there, lanes 5, 6, and 7. We'll pull down to heat number 4. Not everybody out of the pool quite yet. There we go, though. First team walking out is Smoky Hill. They'll be on the far side of the pool, top of your screen. That's Smoky Hill. Fairview in lane 3, Lewis Palmer lane 4, Cherry Creek in lane 5, Ralston Valley in lane 6. Fossil Ridge will take part in lane 7. Lane 8 is Pine Creek. And lane 9 is Pomona. And I believe Darrell Turner is out there to anchor. It looks like lane 4, or lane 5 rather, for Cherry Creek. Again, he has set 2 individual state records today. 100-yard free, 100-yard backstroke. Not a bad day at the office. So this is heat 4. We will have this one and one more, and our swimming will come to a halt here. Top to bottom, Smoky Hill, Fairview, Lewis Palmer, Cherry Creek, Ralston Valley, Fossil Ridge, Pine Creek, and closest to you, Pomona. Each swimmer 4 lengths of the pool. 4 swimmers per team here in the 400-yard freestyle relay. Lane 4 will take the lead at 22:56. That's Lewis Palmer with the narrow lead over Cherry Creek in lane 5 through the first turn, if you will. End of the first leg. That's a good start to the race for lane 4. 46-66, they open it up there. That's Lewis Palmer. Cherry Creek in second, about a second and a half back. Correction, lane 7's in second. That's Fossil Ridge. Again, we got to glance through all those times and do the calculations before they start the next leg time rolling. And Lewis Palmer's led this race. Cherry Creek and Fossil Ridge have alternated second and third. Into the halfway point here when these swimmers hit the start-finish line. That's tightened up now, lanes 4 and 5. Cherry Creek actually battled back to take the lead at 1:35.73. Lewis Palmer next at 1:35.94. Fossil Ridge slid down to 7th, about 2 seconds off the lead pace. And again, Cherry Creek, I believe, has Daryl Turner to anchor, I believe. Again, we don't have the individual swimmers. We should have them tomorrow night, but we do not have them for the prelims here of all these relays. We get them in the results. Once the final results are set, we can tell you the individuals, but as they race, we do not have that information. Here we come to close the third leg. And looks like Cherry Creek has opened up a nice lead in favor of Turner, who's in the pool. Lane 4 is Lewis Palmer, now about a second and a half back. Lane 7, Fossil Ridge, still maintains third. Cherry Creek's pace at 2:23.97. Their relay team set a state record 2 years ago at 3:06.04, and well, that's going to be tough to get to. But Turner's smoking there in lane 5. They haven't restarted his time quite yet. There we go, 3:01. He's not going to get there today, but they have an outside shot tomorrow to set a new record. Cherry Creek hits it at 3:08.40. That's about 2.5 seconds off the pace of the state record, so they have a shot tomorrow. Cherry Creek wins the heat, 3:08.40. Next to them, Lewis Palmer next at 3:13.75. They're about 5 seconds back. Lane 7, or correction, lane 3, that's Fairview. They got into third at 3:14.51. Jeremy will move over there to the scoreboard as you can see it. Again, your first number is your lane line, second number is your finish, and your third number in the column is your time. So lane 5 there at the bottom finished first with a time of 3:08.40. Right above them in lane 4, Lewis Palmer, second place team at 3:13.75. So heat 5, the final heat of the night here in the men's 400-yard freestyle relay. Monarch is your team in lane 2. Boulder is in lane 3. Chatfield lane 4. Regis lane 5. Highlands Ranch in lane 6. Castleview in lane 7. Ponderosa in lane 8. And Legacy in lane 9. I should say all of them in the black trunks, but they're all wearing black trunks for the most part. Again, final race of the night. And then we will call a close to the preliminaries on the swim side. Diving prelims pick up tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning, and then we will pick up our coverage here on CHSAA TV at 2 o'clock with the swimming and diving championships. Let out a loud yell there at the start of that one. So again, our coverage tomorrow will pick up at 2 o'clock on CHSAA TV. You can watch it live, and of course both today's coverage and tomorrow's coverage and everything we do with CHSAA.tv available on demand as well after the fact. Lane 7 looks like they got to the start finish line first. 22:90 was their time halfway through the first leg. And Regis has the best time as far as seating is concerned at 3:11.91. They actually had the best time of all the qualifiers on our list here, just narrowly edging Cherry Creek by about 0.2 of a second. But Creek just finished at 3:08.40. So our first leg, 48.27 is your leader. That's in lane 7. That is Castleview. 49.05 is next. That's in lane 5. That is Regis. So Castleview 1, Regis 2 through the first leg of heat number 5 here at the 400 free relay. They'll swim back here to the start-finish line to get to the halfway point of this final heat. Again, the other swimmers ready, but they have to wait for their teammate to touch the wall before they get in. And tight race there in lane 5 and 6, separated by only 0.04 of a second. Regis is 1, Highlands Ranch 2. And in lane 3, Boulder has moved into 3rd. Again, we're racing for time. You want to get in the top 8 times, regardless of your finish in a heat here. The top 8 times move into the state championship race tomorrow night. Next 8 times will move into the consolation championship race also tomorrow. So what they do, they'll start with event number 1 tomorrow, which will likely be the 200-yard medley relay. They'll wrestle the consolation championship race, followed by the championship race in that event. Lane 5 hit the wall first at the three-quarter mark, 2:24.75. So Regis continues to lead with Highlands Ranch in 2. And again, lane 3 is Boulder. They continue to be in 3rd. So here's your final leg. We'll make the turn there at the start-finish line, so down and back one more time. And we'll call the night good. We'll stick around here until we get the results from these relay heats and tell you the 8 finalists. And all that information will be available on CHSAA.org as well. There we get to the finish, very tight finish there. And Highlands Ranch actually rallied to get the win. Highlands Ranch at 3:11.54. by 0.11 of a second over Regis at 3:11.65. As we zoom in on the board, you'll see lane 6 there is your winner. That's Highlands Ranch. Regis in lane 5 is your second place team. And in 3rd is lane 7, Castleview at 3:15.60. So that is your final heat of the day. And wraps up the competition there in the 400-yard freestyle relay. And that'll put in the books the preliminary swims for tonight. And again, these swimmers will get ready for their championship races tomorrow at 2. Basically what we will do is go through 4 events of swimming championships, then we will do the diving championships, and then we will do the final 8 events of swimming, all tomorrow beginning at 2 o'clock on CHSAA TV. Again, we will wait here. They should hand us the sheet of qualifiers for this final event coming up rather quickly here, and then we'll put the wraps on our broadcast tonight. And Jeremy Weathers doing a fine job on camera tonight. He'll be back with us tomorrow for the finals. Lexi Schaefer running graphics tonight. I'm Kevin Schaefer. We'll all be back with you tomorrow for the championship matches coming up at 2 o'clock tomorrow. In both swimming and diving finals tomorrow. 4A event going on at the VMAC in Thornton has the same schedule. They'll be wrapping up their prelims tonight. You can see that on CHSAA.tv. And their championship schedule also picks up at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon as well. Tomorrow night at 7:30, we also have the championship of the boys lacrosse division. That comes your way at Invesco Field at Mile High. Marty Cesario will have the call for us. And then Wednesday night, Corey Lopez will have the play-by-play of the girls lacrosse championship. That's down at DU, University of Denver, at 4:30, the start time for that match. And just waiting for the results here, trying to get the finalist in team-wise of your 400-yard freestyle relay. Swimmers will continue to work out a little bit tonight, probably, to get some laps in and stay loose. Divers have an early start tomorrow. They can start warming up at 7:30, and the competition begins at 9. Again, we will not have that on CHSAA TV. We'll pick up our coverage at 2 o'clock. Here we go with our results from the 400-yard freestyle relay. Your finalists will be Cherry Creek. They had the top time in qualifying at 3:08.40. That's about 2 seconds off the state record. Next in line, Highlands Ranch and Regis. Arapahoe also qualified. And your final four in the championship race tomorrow will be Loveland, Lewis Palmer, Littleton, and Fairview. Those are your championship race teams. The next 8 qualifiers will battle it out for the consolation crown. That group consists of Fossil Ridge, Castleview, Ponderosa, Poudre, Heritage, Boulder, Ralston Valley, and also Chatfield. So that will wrap up our coverage tonight from the Epic here in Fort Collins. 5A swimming and diving championships will continue tomorrow at 2 o'clock here on CHSAA TV. And again, we'll pick up our coverage then with the swimming and diving championships, both at 2 o'clock tomorrow. For Jeremy Weathers on camera, Lexi Schaefer on graphics, I'm Kevin Schaefer. Thanks for joining us here for the preliminaries of the 5A State Swimming Championships here on CHSAA TV. Yep.